Okay, so today I want to kind of cut the intro short. I don't want to talk too long because I really want to show you guys something afterwards. And Natasha, she is a model. She's a stunt woman. She's an actress. She has also co-founded a company in fintech. And like when you hear a story like that, it's just so unique, so fascinating. It's like she's lived different lives in one. And I think she even said it in her own words. And it was like, my life's like a show and there's different seasons. And it was like, it made so much sense. And her personality, she's warming, she's lovely, really nice to be with. And it was a great time, and I learned so many cool things. And I want to name this podcast, I think, interviewing like a real life superhero, because she's a stunt woman, and I think that's like the closest you're gonna get to like a real life superhero, because like stunt people, they do just the craziest, most unbelievable things. They jump off stuff. And yeah, I learned so much more. It's super technical too, and there's a lot of like creativity involved, and it's like a precise environment, and there's just so much more to it. But then like when you look at what I want to show you guys now, is just like, it's a wow. So kind of just enjoy it. I think it's 2 minutes long, and it's just crazy, and you're gonna be as blown away as I think I have.
Meet Natasha. She makes a living by cheating death.
Okay, so now that's a great starting point, and now we get to learn how the incredible Natasha Duran made her own momentum happen.
I'm gonna stay right here, and I don't need maybe. Yeah. I can't let you go. Can't let you go.
So
Yeah.
you did a podcast here with what was it?
Oh yeah,
Barcelona?
Metropolitan.
Yeah, Metropolitan.
Yeah.
Who is he? Is he American?
Yeah, he is American.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he lives here for like, I don't know, for a long time.
And he supports like local businesses, huh?
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, local, but also like expats and
Mm.
you know, a bit of everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of them here.
Yes.
Okay.
My mom, for example.
Oh really? Where's she from?
She's from the UK, although
Ah.
her parents, so my grandparents, are from Poland. And then my dad's Argentinian.
Yeah, because I was trying to, when I was doing research, I was having a hard time understanding because on your profile you have like something written in some language, and I'm like, what is
Oh
that?
no, it actually says
Yeah.
all risks welcome,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
written like upside down.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, I'm dyslexic, so I didn't even
Oh,
see.
I am dyslexic, I'm
Oh,
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
mean, I'm not like diagnosed with anything
Oh.
because I've never
Mm-hmm.
gone to diagnose, or my
Yeah.
parents took me, but I know I have a lot of things.
Oh yeah, half the world I think is we're just trying.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. There's a lot of good things. But okay, so your mom's from the UK.
Yeah.
That's why you have kind of a UK accent, I imagine. And then your dad's from Poland, or his family,
no.
Argentinian, sorry, and your mom's family is from
Polish.
Polish. Oh
Yeah.
wow, yeah. Because I also saw on Facebook that you hadn't seen your family in Argentina in a while,
Yeah.
and then you went there like it was 12 years, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It was like, well, those are the things why I've started to like do other things rather than just work as, a waitress or a retail, whatever, just because I knew that way I would never be able to have the money to go and the time and, plan it properly. So I always wanted to like make money or something, but just to get there, that's also part of why when my grandmother passed away, that broke all things I was trying to do a little bit, and it broke inside of like, why am I even bothering?
Yeah.
Of all this suffering, creating new companies and new things, if then, now there's no objective, so
Wow.
that was a big one.
Yeah, that's a big conclusion, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because I think, especially, I think this is good for like people at my age that are starting something, and we're so like anxious to like get things going, but then like you get so distracted that like I found this recently because the podcast I was telling you with this guy, and he was saying that anything that like we think that these things are gonna like validate us and they're gonna be so good for us, these external things, and that's where the happiness lies, or that's where our purpose lies. And like the way he put things, like Paulo was here and we were just like, wow, because it was like nothing over there is gonna help. We have it, like everything's here, like our love for our family, all of those like the little things. That's what our purpose is, and that's, we don't need anything else. Is like an add-on. They're great and they're awesome, and we should seek them.
And also I think that like if you're seeking for validation, it takes so long to get there that when you get there you're like, well, I'm already validated myself, I don't need anyone. So it's all the time that it takes you to get to where you want to go is just you validating yourself, really. Although you're thinking it's everybody else, really it ends up being you. And then when you get there, you don't really care if anyone agrees or not. You're like, I don't give a shit.
Do you think that's like because actors, there's a huge thing in getting to know yourself, and that's kind of like how you have empathy for the characters that you're playing and things of that nature. Do you think that process of getting to know yourself, and that like even if you're struggling, you're trying to get parts, that's where the kind of the validation comes? Is that what?
I think it comes with everything. It comes with learning what you're doing wrong in a casting and why you're not getting the job. And for me, I had a lot of fear of something that I didn't really understand what it was, and I kept trying to understand it. And every time I got into a casting, I was kind of like, every day I went there, I felt a little less nervous. But then when I got into the actual little cross, they say, just stand there in the cross, and you're like, and as soon as you turn around and look to the camera, my heart would start beating like super fast. My hands would get sweaty. I would start, all these like physical reactions that I was like, what the fuck's going on, And I would like say things wrong and look everywhere, like really bad. And I kept doing and doing and doing and doing. And every time I was like, now I don't feel that nervous mentally. Why am I physically still feeling all of this?
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I was like, there must be something I'm missing, and I was like, what could it be? What could it be? And then I figured out, I don't know how, but I just thought maybe it's this. And I thought maybe my problem is that I don't want, so I'm not happy with someone filming me me not seeing what they've filmed and just having to agree with whatever it was when I know I didn't do well.
Okay, yeah.
So I thought, how can I change that? So my fear was like, like the recording part of it, like that video being sent to so many other people, and those people, like, I don't know, laughing because I know
Judging.
they're not going to be like, oh, she's great, because I wasn't great and I knew I wasn't great. So I was like, I've not approved this video. I don't really want it to go anywhere,
Yeah.
So that was part of it. And then I thought, how can I fix it? And I started seeing all these models that like always looked gorgeous because sometimes you can see the screen. And I was like, how do they do it? So I went home, I started practicing, and in front of the camera, I was filming myself. And then I figured out if I look like a model, at least in the first 5 seconds, of a casting, and then I do the presentation and then I do the acting. But the first thing they see is if you look at the camera and how you seduce the camera, because that's what they want. You've got a product, you got to seduce the audience some way with your smile, with a look, with something. So if you nail that, you're already halfway in, even if you hate doing castings. Like, the mission is like, what do I say in those 10 seconds of presentation? And then the acting will be completely different because it can be more natural, or you can talk about yourself naturally. But at least those minutes have to be like a model. Like you gotta integrate the modeling part of you, especially for commercials. I mean, obviously, if you're doing a film casting, then it's a character, then it's completely different. But for anything to do with commercial work, you gotta look like a model, even if you're not.
Wow. It's that thing like look good, feel good, and you'll do good.
Oh, well, I think it's practice.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't, like, at least at first. Like, then, yeah, of course, with the years, I felt comfortable because I've seen the result. And I've seen that, when I do a casting and I perform that casting well enough, I'm usually at least called back.
Yeah.
And that, for me, is the objectives. At least they call you back. Then if they choose you or not, there's 1,000 million reasons why you're not the one. But at least you get called back. It's like, yes, I know how to do a good casting because at least they see me and I'm chosen out of all this bunch of girls that look exactly like me,
Wow. I can't even because when you're saying that, and I've talked to this because I think people that have no idea what the casting process is like, and I even wrote something like this because you wrote down somewhere that it was 10 years, more than 900 castings, and over 800 rejections.
Yes.
And I hear that, I'm just like, wow, I get anxious just from hearing that. How would you kind of describe what this casting process is?
Well, it's horrible.
Yeah.
At first, obviously, because at first you think it's all about, why didn't they choose me? Is it because I don't look good? Is it because I'm not tall or pretty enough? Or, oh yeah, that girl that was before me, she was so much better looking, and she did it so well and I did it so bad. And so you go home and you're like, well, but maybe I still have a chance. So you start overthinking and overthinking. And then you pass the week and then you know that they choose more or less on Friday. And it comes to Saturday and you're like, oh, no one's called me. It's not me, And so every time you overthink, it's time wasted on not doing another casting or not getting into another agency or not figuring out something or practicing. So, and at first, the first 100 castings, maybe it feels exactly like that, like a rejection. You're like, it wasn't you because you're the problem. And, let's see if you can fix yourself or not in order to be better and look better for those people that choose. But then after 100, when I figured out my fears and I worked on them and I copied every other girl and I saw how they did it and how they presented themselves, and then I started thinking, well, I might just write down a little, pitch of myself, because the worst thing about castings is that you're not selling a product, you're selling yourself. And yourself is everything. It's you, your face, your personality, your fears, like your incommodities and all the insecurities you have, and you're placing them in a camera that everybody else is going to see at some point.
Oh my God.
And they're going to choose depending on that. And, you know, and so if you have the pitch clear, then you're kind of in front a little bit of everyone else, because you know what you're going to say, you know, more or less the questions they're always the same. In my case, I figured out that if they usually say your name and agency, and I thought, but I'm a stunt woman, even if I wasn't back then. But I was like, I feel like a stunt woman, so why not say my name and then say I'm a professional stunt woman, and then I say the agency, so they can't cut it.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
on top of it, I create a question, because usually they say, oh, what are you going to do this Christmas? But to me, they say, you're a stunt woman? Oh my God, what stunts have you done?
Yeah.
And so then I've got my pitch. So I know what they're going to ask, because I created the question, you know, unconsciously a bit. So it's figuring out ways. I mean, if you're a musician or you have some special talent, I would fit that in the middle. So immediately in the first 2 seconds, they know your name, they know what you do as an extra talent, and they know your agency. And then you go into the presentation that if you've practiced it, you look exactly like a model and you seduce the camera and everything. And then you go into the acting and you can be more natural, because that's what they're looking for. And usually just doing that, you've got, you know, 50% more chances to being called back than if you're just there like, oh, hello, my name is, you know, and just nervous looking, you know. What does a director want in the end? They want someone easy to work with, someone that understands them. So if they speak languages, obviously it's better. And someone that doesn't complain, is not a diva, and they just do the job, do it well. If you can save us some time, you're in.
Yeah.
So I think it's that. And I mean, it's everybody's got their own characteristics, but when you all look more or less the same, you have to figure out ways to, you know,
Yeah.
be different. a little bit.
Yeah, and I saw this thing that like the most creative is the most personal, and I can't even imagine when you're in a room and everyone looks exactly like you. That must be such a
It's weird.
it's a weird feeling, huh? I can't.
And when they come 10 of them at the same time, because one thing is like you go in and you've got the, you know, the camera, you've got the agent or whatever, like telling you what to do. And the other thing is like when they bring like 10 other girls with you and you're the first one. Or the last one, you know. I mean, the last one, at least you've seen everyone else, you know. But when you're like one of the first, it's a bit like, fuck.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at you like, you know, you're literally the competition.
Yeah, they're like,
they either choose me or they choose any of you. So, you know, it's kind of weird.
oh my! And it, like when you get there to the casting process, how is the environment like weird? Are people like behind the cameras? Like, are they mean? How is that like
in the actual commercial?
in the actual like casting process where you're in front of the camera, and you have people behind it. Are they like how is you know?
Okay, at first they seem they're in a rush to like get you out. So do your job, do your casting, present yourself. Okay, good, bye. So it's really cold at first. Obviously, then if you get to know these people, because you're always going back, and so they're like, hey, Natasha, you know, like, here you are again. But the first 100 castings where you're just a number, it's quite rough, because it's like I guess it's like any process selection, or selection process, where it's like one, okay, good, next. It's like a Tinder. You feel like a Tinder, like a physical Tinder, you know, where you're like, I'm looking for a girl, a boyfriend, a girl, you know, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're nothing.
Oh my God. And I imagine
that's why not many people last.
Exactly.
Most do like 5 and they're like, no, this is not for me. Well, it's not for anyone. It's for the ones that just keep going.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, the fact that I was so like self-conscious in the casting, but then when I got the job, I was like excited and having fun, and I didn't care about the camera because you're there and it's you, and so they're gonna repeat it as many times as they need to. But that first process of you might not be, and that girl next to you, oh, she's the one, you know, and all that, I think that people don't want to go through, but because maybe what the last bit that would be doing the commercial is what I had so much passion for and I wanted to so badly, I kind of didn't care going through that horrible process of like feeling nervous and everything.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to pee and you have a whole line of people behind you and they're like, hurry up, and you're like, no, I can't stop. I'm like under pressure. You can't like be in the present moment if you have people rushing you, so you can't even do a good job while you're in it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the pressure is high, but then you think of it and you're like, well, it's a good practice place because then you've got 50 people watching you in silence, you know, whilst you're doing something in the commercial.
Wait, okay. So when you're in the commercial, you have
you have everyone, you know, the crew and the cast and the agency and the client and this, and everybody's looking at you.
That's a main character.
I mean, there I didn't like the problem. I don't know why, but I feel more nervous in a casting than in the commercial with 100 people looking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's much more. The thing you said, I never like thought about it that way. That it's so personal because, like, if you sell a product, there's a distance, right? And even me, like, I'm here, I'm interviewing you. I'm at a distance because I'm the one asking questions. I'm not talking about myself. But like when you're in a casting, it's everything. Like if they say you're not good, that means you're actually not good. It doesn't mean your product isn't good. You can fix that later. But if you're not good, it's like, Jesus, wow.
I mean, the best thing that, like, for me, the moment that changed, like, clicked, I have a friend that worked in a production company, and he was in post-production, and he said, hey, I think I've seen your casting. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you want to watch it? I'm like, oh, my God, I can see the casting. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm sure I look shit. So I went there. He showed me the casting. I was laughing because I was like, okay, I look really nervous, but I'm funny. I thought I was like funny cute in a way, you know.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you want to see everyone else's? And I'm like, can I?
Give me that.
I won't tell anyone, although I'm telling you now today. And he was like, yeah, sure. So I checked everyone else's, and that's when I realized that when I was sitting outside of the casting room and all these other girls were there, we were looking at each other and everyone seemed very, very confident. But when you actually see the castings, you realize that we were all fucking nervous.
Yeah.
And there was no one more confident than anyone else. And it was funny because that casting, they were looking for mulatas con curvas y nociones de fútbol. So exactly not my profile at all.
But
you know.
Yeah.
And I went there and I remember getting to the casting and there are all these like super beautiful black girls with all their hair like perfectly like afro and plaits and everything, and I was like, they all look gorgeous and I look nothing like anyone. Like, why am I here? Like, and I called my agency. I'm like, are you sure? Like, this cast, like, they asked for me. And she's like, yeah. Just go in. And I was like, you know, the only blonde white person in the room. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. That's the casting I watched. And that's the casting I got.
Oh, wow.
Since then, I was like, they don't know what they want. They really don't know what they want. If you go in and you're, for any reason, exactly what they're looking for, even if you don't match any of their indications or wishes or whatever, you might be chosen. So since then, I thought, I'm going to go to everything, no matter what. Like, even if it's not exactly the sort of profile that I think I am, I'm still going to go.
Yeah.
Just to practice and just to be there, get to know these people. Like maybe I go to a new agency where they do casting director, and so I get to know someone new.
Wow. And how many like castings were you doing a week?
I mean, I get more or less, I would say 3 to 5. I don't do every casting, just because I do so many other things. But if not, I would be doing everything.
Wow.
There was like, I lived, so it took me maybe a year to get to understand what a casting was and how to perform properly. But then since, I lived 3 years of just this. Like that was my, let's say, salary.
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy.
but it's not common. I mean, not everyone does like nearly 10 commercials a year. That's nearly one a month, even though never happens like one a month. It's always like 3 at the same time, same dates, and you're like figuring out how to move things around, and then nothing for 3-4 months, and then 2 more suddenly like quite close. And but yeah, I've done like over 90 commercials for all types of brands and everything.
That's awesome. Even like in the business side, you get so many connections with people, and that's awesome.
Well, thanks to many of these connections that I've done both in commercials and in films, now with my startup, I'm bringing all these contacts together, and sometimes thanks to these things I get films through, and new opportunities.
That's amazing. I want to get into, because as you said, you weren't pretending that you were a stunt woman on the casting. You're an actually real life superhero, and I really want to get into that. But first, I want to like just go way back and ask you, because you grew up here in Barcelona, and your parents were in the animation field.
Yes.
How was it growing up in like that, like a creative environment like that?
It was great. I mean, we always had we had the office at home, so I could see everything that they were doing, and I was kind of a beta tester,
You
like
just wanted to try it out.
someone that they would put me in front of the TV or the computer and say, "Do you like this?" Like, or play this game, and I would be like playing. So I guess I was I was already working in a way, but it was great. We had a lot of different shows that I would then see on TV, and I would have them, being drawn in a way.
Oh, that's crazy.
So it was really cool. Done a lot of commercials, a lot of everything. Worked for different brands. My parents did a lot of things. Like, they had a company that lasted like 20 years or so.
It's amazing.
So did a good job, and we were doing like the 3, like what's it called, Tres Vasonas, Fruity. Well, they're Spanish, typical Spanish shows, animation shows. We also did Chico y Rita, that was nominated for an Oscar.
Wow.
And I worked on that as well. I was 16, and I was like, and everything was manual. It wasn't like but not because the computers were not there anymore. It was because that particular film, they wanted it to be like hand made or whatever.
Jesus.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I saw a documentary on Pixar and how they started, and I always thought like, okay, animation's very technical, like there's not a lot of creativity. Oh my goodness, they're like the most incredible people ever. They draw the actual character. They have to think of like scenes of the movie. It's everything in one.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And so many people work on it. I mean, it's like the part of animation especially, but even so, like just the pre-production of everything is like loads of people, every person doing one specific thing. One is characters, the other one's backgrounds, the other one's props, the other one's doing, then the animation part, that's the most like work driven thing. It's crazy, and it takes a long time. You have to be very determined to start and finish something like that.
My God. And were you as a kid, because after seeing like your montage reel, I'm like, I imagine that you're like always jumping around stuff, zero fear whatsoever. Was that kind of?
Well, I had fear, but it was like I was just really active, I guess.
Yeah, you wanted to try things.
Since I was very little. Also, there was this friend at school that did backflip, like, from a tall place, and I was like fascinated. I was like, I can do that.
Damn.
So kind of like I would get motivated with others doing things that I thought I could do as well.
Yeah.
And I never thought I could, and I just thought, how am I gonna do it? Like, how am I gonna get to do that? But I always figured out the way, and I really I practiced. And once it's in my head, I have to do it. I have to.
That's
And
fascinating.
I think I've done this with everything else, like with my companies and everything. Although I've not been always like successful at all, but I've tried and I've learned, and I've chosen better
Yeah.
times than
Yeah,
others,
yeah.
people and stuff, and but I've always got that thing of like, if I think we can do something, then I'll just go until the end, even if I crash into the wall.
That's huge looking like it, because I always look at those kids that did the backflips and everything. I was like, no way. I am not going to try that. They're like, it's God's gift. They're wonderful. Good luck. But you having like just because we all have it, right? Like if we get our mind to something, we can actually maybe do it, or we can get close enough. And you as a kid having that realization, that's so big. That's huge.
Yeah, but it was always like that, because when I was quite small, I already like to play football, and then no one would allow me to play. They were like, no, you're a girl. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
I still run and I can kick a fucking ball. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a girl, so what? And it was like I was always fighting against like everyone, and because I didn't fit, but I didn't want to. It wasn't that I wanted to fit. I just wanted to play. I didn't care if I fit or I didn't. It's like, if you let me play, I don't like. That's all I want, So it was weird, growing up with all these like feeling like everything that you like, what you like to do, is not allowed to you because you're a girl and you can't do this and you can't do that, and I was always like, well, it's maybe your limitations, not mine. I can do it.
Yeah.
Or I think I can.
Yeah.
Try. And it was always that, and always, everyone's like, no, you can't do this. No, that is too dangerous. No, this is too whatever. And I would always be like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
And it was always like in my mind, like, why are they not allowing me to do what I want to do? And it's always got like a condition to something.
Yeah.
So I always kind of ended up doing whatever I want to.
Yeah, because I think people are so insecure. Maybe they tried something in life and it didn't work out, and they like, no, you're not going to do that. You're crazy. If I didn't do it, who are you to think that you can do it? And then you're like, well, I want to try it at least. Like, don't be so mean, I want to try this. And and also Guillermo del Toro, he said something once, and it reminded me that a career in the film industry is a ridiculous dream. And he meant it like in the best way possible, because it's like, it's daring to what people say that you can do. Like, everyone's advice is, you're stupid. It's never going to work. It's not a stable career. You have no fear of responsibilities. What are you doing with your life? Nah. But then I don't know. It's such amazing. And whenever I see someone that does it, it's just so courageous, and it makes me so happy. So when was the moment that you're like, okay, I want to go down and chase this ridiculous dream?
I guess I always wanted to, because I saw the outtakes and I thought it was so funny and people have so much fun, and I want to do that because, they're obviously, enjoying themselves, and of course it can be a job, but still, in what other job can you act and then you fuck it up and you just laugh and make everyone laugh? And it's that environment that I was like, wow, I want to do that. So I think I've always wanted to. That I always asked my mom, and she was like, well, if you want to go into an agency and do this, you'll do it when you're 18, because I've been through this and I don't want you to do castings and it's really bad and you feel insecure and so on. And I was like, well, maybe I won't feel insecure, because I know that you did. Maybe that helps me not to be insecure. Exactly. I don't know. She was like, I don't care. When you're 18, you can do it. She did put me into one agency, and I did get one job that I
Oh.
didn't know I did stunts, but actually I did stunts.
In that
In
job.
my first ever commercial, I did stunts without knowing that was a stunt.
Oh my god.
I just thought, well, it's a handstand and kicking a ball, like, flipping. And now I get called to do that, and they call me stunt. But they didn't call me stunt back then.
Yeah.
So that was my first one at 17. My mum took me to that agency, and I got that job. And then I stopped until I was in Australia. I did a bit like as an extra.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, wow, $360 to walk around for 10 hours, like doing nothing. This is fantastic. I'll do that in Spain when I'm back. But here they pay 45 euros.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, okay. Maybe not that good. So I started as an extra, and I started getting into different agencies, and no one would call me for a casting. And I was like, why aren't they calling me for a casting? Like, what's wrong with me? Is it like physically I don't fit? I just fit like an extra, like just background blurry thing. Really?
Yeah.
That's all I'm worth. And so you start thinking, so I start enrolling into more agencies. So I ended up like in 12 agencies. Still no one called me
Jesus.
for a single casting, but I kept doing as an extra. So I went there, I would check out, who's that guy? Oh, what does this girl do? Why is he shouting? And trying to identify what they did, and then trying to talk to them, although you're an extra.
Yeah.
I would still like try and talk to all the
You're
producers
hustling.
or whatever, right? And then once that period happened, I saw this guy that was like kind of training choreography with one of the actors, and I thought, I can do that.
Uh-huh.
So I approached him. I was like, what do you do to do what you do? And he was like, what, stunts? And I was like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. You tell me. And he told me that there was a course and the price and everything. And then I was like, oh, shit, how am I going to pay that course? And it starts in like 5 months from now. I was like, no, this has to happen right now. So I sat down in the lunch break and I said, okay, we're going to make a deal. You're going to take me to castings, and with the base of like gymnastics, football, snowboarding, skateboarding, and all the other sports I've done, maybe I get a job, and with the job, I'll be able to pay the course.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, we never really do it that way, but I'm not the boss. And I was like, great, speak to your boss. And tell me something. I was like desperate to I met you, this
No
has
shame.
to happen.
Yeah.
I don't care. So like a week went by, and they called me into a stunt casting. I think it was the most elaborated stunt casting I've ever been to, because since then everything's like quite normal, but that one had like trampolines and like mattresses and
Oh my
stuff. And I
God.
was like, oh shit, here people are really good, and everyone's like stretching and looking great. And I was like, oh god, there we go again. So I did that one, and I got the job.
Oh,
So
wow.
since then it started like, then they met me, the stunt team, and they were like, oh, we actually have a film coming up, and you look quite similar to the main character. Would you do this? Would you do that? I was like, yeah. And so because I said yes to everything, even if I didn't really know, I was just confident to know my limits and confident enough to just go for it and figure it out as I go, instead of just thinking, am I good? Can I do that? What is it exactly that they're asking me for? No, it's like, just say yes.
Yeah.
And if you know that you figure out things on the go, then just kind of do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge, because it's the thing of like doing things, and then you kind of because you have the stress of actually doing the thing, and then you have the stress of, I don't have enough time to do the thing, and then you end up just doing better than you would if you, like, for example, if you prepare for 2 weeks for something instead of like preparing for 3 days. And I don't know, those things, like action is always like better, and that's great. And did you ever like in that first casting where people were like overstretching and then looking all professional, Did you try to like stretch and be like, oh yeah, I do this stuff all the time?
Yeah, I was doing handstands because I knew that would be good, and then I was
Flexing a
looking at
little?
the director and seeing if he would look at any of us in particular. So doing handstands works
That's a good flex.
because
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh wow, handstand."
Yeah. Well, I don't know how to stretch my hamstring, but I do know how to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Okay, and then I have this list, and I kind of get to show off my research and justify why I want to name this podcast "Interviewing a Real Life Superhero," because I think it's as close as you could get. So you have been set on fire for an ad, and please correct me if any of these like are wrong. Crashed a motorcycle into a car, held onto a flying helicopter with no parachute. You do all kinds of parkour, acrobatics, insane jumps. Fell off a moving motorcycle. You shoot snipers, guns, precision driving, which is crazy. And you do all kinds of sports: snowboarding, football, tennis, hockey, skating, dance. Like that, for me, that's just wow. And like when I hear this, when I first read this, I was like, I've thought of two things. One, injuries. Like the amount of injuries must be crazy. And the second one was like, you must be very comfortable with the fear of trying new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no injuries, thank
Oh.
God. You always take bruises home or like little scratches or well, not so little sometimes. But obviously the next few days you're in bed like feeling sorry for yourself and thinking, oh shit, I always say yes to these things. And then I'm like, oh
Yeah.
where's my hot water back?
Yeah. Damn.
But so I'm lucky that that's never, I always also I've got a personality, so I've always kind of had to self-coordinate some of the commercials, especially in commercials. They never get a stunt coordinator, so I'm left alone to figure it all out. And so I also have to put the limits and tell the first AD or the director or producer, like, no, we can't do this.
Yeah.
Or yeah, we could do that if we had this or that, That's sometimes, I guess, for some people it would be very difficult. For me, it comes naturally of just saying, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I need another mattress. No. If we're doing this, then I can't go that fast.
Yeah.
But this is more because I feel like I'm a delicate stunt. I don't just do anything because I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. I'm like more of a, like, okay, let's figure this out, but let's do it well. We want to repeat it many times.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to, look stupid or whatever. So that would be one. And then the other question was?
That you must be very comfortable with the fear of trying new things.
Yeah, I feel really comfortable with trying new things, but because I feel I can know enough of what they want, so I can look professional without being professional, because I can do the 2-3 things that are like, wow.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
I'm not like, I won't go and like train for 6 months to be the best at something. I'll, like the other day I went to do skates with some friends, and I've been like maybe for a year thinking, oh, I would love to do a half pipe, but I feel like very scared because when I was little I fell down and smashed my head. So I was always with that fear. And the other day I just tried it and so on, and these friends are also like super motivating, and they're like, yeah, just come on, let's go to the big one. I'm like, oh, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, it's the same as the small one. You just have to go forward. Like the worst thing you can do is like fall forward.
Yeah.
If you don't,
because you're dropping into this.
Because you're jumping into the half pipe. And I was like, oh my God. But then I did it and I was like, oh, that was not that bad. Okay, now I can do it again and again and again. And then that's it, So I think that those are the things. It's more about breaking the limits in your mind of what you're doing rather than just never doing it because you had a bad experience.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing. A lot of people never try again because that one own experience fucked them up so badly of overthinking what all the other things could go wrong, that they never give a second or a third chance to something they really believe in.
Yeah.
They just give up.
Uh-huh.
It's like, no, that didn't work. It
And
wasn't
that's
for
it.
me. And it's like, you just had to try 3, 4, 5 more times,
Exactly.
and you would have gone through.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I think that applies to, many of the times I'm there and I'm thinking, would I do this if I wasn't paid?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, yes,
Yeah.
like this is the best fucking thing I've ever done and I would do it for free. And other times you're like, oh, it's 10,000 euros. Yeah, just jump. just fucking do it. I remember one of the big ones. So one of my most feared commercials I did was for Samsung S6. New phone, la la la. My mom was like, oh, but you're going to jump from like a waterfall, and it's the 6th of March, and this is in the Pyrenees, the water's freezing, you're gonna, like, something may happen, and she was thinking more like, what if she has a non-diagnosed disease, like, let's say a heart disease, and she jumps and, it bang, because obviously cold water at 0 degrees could, give you a lot of things. And I was there, and she's like, please don't go. I'll pay you the, the daily rate. And I was like, but Mom, what about the image right? She's like, well, how much is it? I'm like, it's 8,000 euros. She's like, okay, just go. But just call me, please. Tell me everything's okay. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I got there, and that I nearly died. Like, I could feel I could not breathe.
Oh my God.
And I didn't know all these things were going to happen, like, to my body. And then suddenly these, like, weird noises come out from you. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And you can see, like, the scuba divers, like, coming to the rescue, but they're so slow. Like, you feel they're so slow. Yeah. And you're like, you can't really swim because you can't breathe. And you're, like, waiting for them, but then you've got 50 more meters to get to land. And then, you've got the paramedics all looking at you, like,
oh my
worried.
God.
And you're even more worried. Like, what the fuck is going on? So it gets to a point where you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I here? And then they tell you after 20 minutes that you're, like, been shaking, like,
oh my goodness,
for over 20 minutes, like, literally, like, you can't stop. And they dry your hair and they dry everything, and there's, like, all this heat, and you're still, like, shivering. And then they're like, okay, are you ready for another jump?
Oh, no way.
And I'm like, well, ready wouldn't be the right word.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess.
And you went again?
And I went again.
Oh, that's crazy.
And they tried a third time, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you had 5 cameras, and it's for a 1-minute commercial. Like, I think you got the shot.
Yeah.
Trust me.
You're shaking for 20 minutes. You're being rescued by paramedics, and they have the nerve. Would you mind going again?
And then again.
And then again, damn it.
And then on top of it, at the end, obviously you do all the other scenes that are not the jumping side of it. But still, you've got your feet in the water. It's freezing. Now you don't have anyone under the actual waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
But you still got to do the action as if you're going to jump.
Okay.
But there's no one there. So you start getting like, what if I fall down and no one's there? And then I'm going to get all this fucking panic, but there won't be any scuba divers. And so I got really nervous, and I was like, okay, that's it. Like,
yeah.
I'm done.
Give me my money, I'm out of here.
Yeah. And it was funny because they were like, yeah, okay, well, the bus is waiting you up there. I'm like, the bus? I mean, I'm not leaving this set without having dinner.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, I'm dead. I feel like...
you died twice.
I died twice. My body is like in a complete shock, and you want to put me into a bus?
Yeah, give me some cheeseburgers.
To Barcelona, and then I have to drive my little motorbike at 4 a.m. in the morning, and like maybe I didn't die now and I died then.
Yeah.
It's like... And I was like, no, like, I need to eat. And they were like, oh, okay. And I'm like, and if I can stay the night... I would appreciate it, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna ask. And they came back, they're like, yeah, you can stay and you can eat here. And I remember like getting into bed, like sitting down like an old lady, like, oh my God, like I couldn't move. I was just like,
oh my God,
it was insane, like the feeling of the muscles just when you're like done.
Yeah, it's like a total shock.
It is like your body, like you can't breathe for a while because you can't inhale. So you've underwater, you've taken all the air out because of the
Yeah.
adrenaline of like,
And then you come.
and then, and when you come up for air, you're like, you start
Damn.
like talk like doing these weird noises that I can't even recreate. That are like
My God.
your voice comes from somewhere you've never heard,
Yeah.
and you don't know really what to do to fix that situation of like non-breathing. So it's
My
horrible.
God. That was the question that I want to ask you. What was the most scared one? 'Cause
That one's
Jesus Christ. Yeah. And the nerve for them not even to treat you like afterwards.
But that's the thing, like you're a queen at the moment that and
Uh-huh.
that is another thing that a lot of actors, I'm sure they get after, like especially if you're famous or whatever, like they treat you really well during the period where you're being made up and la la la. But once the rap is done, everyone wants to go home, so you're no one again, and and that contrast. But even it's happened because I was a stunt one day, so they treat you like a stunt, and then the next day you go back in and you're like, well, I'm the main character. And they're like, oh, but you were the stunt yesterday. And you're like, yeah, you treated me like shit, but I'm back. And now I'm I've got the main role. So, and they treat you different. And I feel like so bad that there's so many, like even when there's extras, sometimes they treat extras a bit like shit. And I've been through all of it, so I know exactly everything, how they treat ones or others. And then there's people that treat everyone the same, and that's beautiful.
Angels.
And everyone's nice, and makeup artists and so on. But yeah, you can tell the differences quite a bit, even in the catering. There's like extras catering,
Really?
all the rest.
Really?
I felt really bad. Yeah, I remember I produced my first short film, action short film, and we were like 150 crew, 80 on set. And of course there was extras, but I never differentiated them. I thought that is so ugly,
Yeah. Everyone's
And-
contributing to this one thing.
Yeah, and they're still there for 12 hours just walking from one side to
Exactly.
the other, and you need them. You need the
Yeah.
backgrounds and so on. I don't know if AI is going to fuck it all up, but until now, they are important, and I don't know why there's different treatment. Not only in the food, that I can understand you don't want to pay that much, and I could get more or less why, but it's the way you treat people.
Yeah, that's unexcusable, right? There's no like reason to.
Because yesterday I was an extra, today
Yeah.
I'm a stunt, tomorrow I'm the actress,
Yeah.
and I'm the same person. So you can't treat me differently because today you admire me and tomorrow you don't care. Like, I don't know, it's so weird.
Yeah, that's fascinating because you get to experience like being an actor. That I assume there's more of a like, oh, do you need anything? Nah, nah, nah. And then you're the stunt, and you're like, oh, she's like
She could do it.
yeah, she can do anything. So you're okay, huh? Nah, nah, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
the
on.
coffee's there.
Yeah,
It's much more like light.
Yeah,
But yeah, with the models or with when you're not chosen as a stunt, it's a bit different treatment.
yeah,
It's weird.
yeah. That really it gets me like icked out because it's like I've never been in that industry, but I can really see like how people would maybe treat others, and that's so gross because I think the number one thing that we should all like do in life, there's like the simplest thing is being nice to other people. Like there's no reason for you to be like a dick or like mean.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
There is-
Zero.
And everyone's the same, and you never know who's gonna be next, in the line to become the next
Exactly.
whatever, So I think that everyone should be treated right. And the same I say to like actors that feel like they're divas because they got a role. You just got a role.
Yeah.
That's all you did. You got a role. Wow.
And you maybe got lucky.
Yeah, and most probably you got lucky or you got good connections or whatever. So don't celebrate it or feel like you're so much more because you got that job. it's like you still go home and you're lonely.
Exactly.
So don't be like, oh, because, or treating people badly when before you were in the other side, like maybe you were an extra or you were, just a secondary actor. Now you're the main actor. Now you're so much special.
Yeah, because people
than
treated me.
before.
Yeah, people treated me like shit. So now I get to do the same thing to others, and it's like it's a
But
cycle.
that I do understand why people get to that point, because I know that in these industries and in general, if you are an entrepreneur, you're gonna get so many no's, so many rejections, so many people saying, oh, you should do this, oh, it's never gonna work, or how are you gonna start, like you have no followers or no this or no that. And so you get so much negativity and so little support that I understand that when you get there and everyone's like, oh my God, I knew you were going to do well in life. And you're like, well, not really.
Yeah, you can smell the bullshit.
Yeah, you didn't say that 2 years ago when I was like miserable in my room, like writing down my future plans, and telling you because I trusted you, and you were like, nah, it's not going to work. And you're like, well, I know it could not work, but just encourage me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it might.
Exactly.
You never know.
Yeah. It's like those people that, like, when someone online is trying to do something, or like, I don't know, the simplest thing of like looking stupid or trying to look goofy online and trying to like start a business or something, there's people that like their whole lives is like just going in common thing, like negative things. And it's like, that, first of all, that doesn't make you feel better. That makes you feel horrible inside alone. Like that actor that you mentioned, like her being mean to others, it's not going to make you go home and feel like you're like that, because you're going to feel the total opposite.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but then like the people that are actually trying and they get those comments, like it's just so like, it's like kind of heartbreaking to listen to them like in the beginning, but it's like.
Yeah, especially now with social, you don't have to put your face or anything. You can create an account and just criticize people.
Exactly.
But I think it's worse from the people that are closer to you. The ones that just support you in the good times.
Yeah.
And when something goes wrong, they're not there because they weren't your friends.
Yeah.
So that also is it's very sad, and I've gone through it in the hard way. And it just like it leaves you a bit like empty, thinking all these years that we were friends, it was just because I was doing well, it was just because I was helping out, it was just because of all these things that I could provide, and maybe no one else could, or no one else wanted to provide to these people. And then as soon as you're in a down time and you are lost, or you have depression, or you have moments of your life where nothing makes sense and you're just don't care about anything, and that's when you need those people, and then suddenly they disappear, or they go with the opposite side of everything. So I don't know. I think that is also, I think it's a very, like being an actor and being in this industry, or even if you're a filmmaker or a entrepreneur in general, it's a very lonely place to be, because it's all about you putting a plan together that maybe doesn't make sense, but you have to put it together anyway. And then you have to start figuring out, like asking the questions, resolving the questions, then changing things. People are going to be like, nah, I told you that didn't work. Oh, I knew it wasn't going to work. And it's like, saying that doesn't do anything, because I've done so much effort to get here for you to be like, I told you it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you get there, because you keep going, and some of these negative inputs are actually good force of like, yeah, okay. You say I'm not going to do this, just watch me.
Yeah.
I think those, if you're driven by also the negativity, not only the positivity, I think that's how you get there, really.
Yeah.
Because if every negative comment is like, oh, they're right, I'm never going to do it. Like, why am I even wasting my time here? Makes no sense. But if that no actually makes you be like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna show you.
Uh-huh.
And one day,
Uh-huh.
but then that one day gets there and you don't care about that person
Exactly, yeah.
anymore because you're proud of yourself and how you did it. But that comment might have been
Fuel the spark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it fueled the spark to get to where you
Yeah.
want to get.
It's like that the opposite of like watching a motivation video. Sometimes you just need people to doubt you a little because you're riding a little too high or
Yeah,
something
that's true. And we
happening, yeah.
sometimes like we don't want those negative comments, but sometimes those are the ones that
Yeah,
make you get there.
exactly.
Obviously, then you need the positive reinforcement of, your surrounding, not on a daily basis, but nearly,
Yeah.
like that you can speak to a friend and tell them the good things and the bad things, and friends getting like super hyped because it's going well. Because that's the other thing. There's some people that they like you when you're not doing great, but when you're
Yeah.
doing great, they're
Uh-huh.
like jealous of
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
success, or jealous that they're not part of it because of whatever. And that's annoying as well because then you're like, well, I want friends that are happy for me in the same way as when my friends start new businesses. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I try and share some of their posts.
Yeah.
I try to be part of their community, even if I know that they're just starting or whatever. And yeah, not everyone does that at all,
Yeah. That
unfortunately.
it sucks, but that's why like I like there's certain people that tell really good advice. And one of them was like like don't listen to the good comments and don't listen to the bad ones because both of them have their like negatives and positives. Like the negatives of the bad comments is like it'll make you feel horrible. Your self-worth will be completely diminished. But you also feel a little spark, but it's like a short-term spark. It won't last forever. And same with the positive because you'll just feel like you're too high when you're not. And yeah, I don't know. It's all about balance, right? I don't know.
Yeah. And also I think it's about just believing that if you think you can do it and you know that I think everything is time. You can kind of, if you control timing, you can do much more and stress much less. So if you know things take 4 months, for instance,
Ooh, okay.
instead of 1, then you won't get as stressed as if you think, no, I got to get it this month. And it's like people, I think they overthink of like, oh shit, I need to do it right now. I need to get like 10 podcasts in this month. And it's like, no, if you divide it into the 6 months that you need to actually start, spinning the wheel, you're going to feel better. You're not going to be so anxious. You're going to actually be very realistic. And the numbers will end up, slowly getting there. And also you have more time, so you can have more ups and downs. And some days you will feel better and worse, but you still know that you've got time. When you shorten those timings and you just think, oh, I can do it in a month or 2 months is good. And then you're like, that is completely not realistic and it's never going to happen. You get to that second month and you're like, oh, it didn't work. I should maybe leave this and do something else. I think timing,
Yeah, that's huge.
knowing time, understanding time, how long time like things take,
Yeah.
like a casting, right? I go to the first one, I get nervous. I go to the second one, I get nervous. Let's do 20 more and see if you're still nervous. People do 3 and then they're like, I'm out.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do 20. Like, compromise yourself to do 20 castings and tell me if you still feel like the first one.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you don't change anything in the casting and you just go there and do the same. But if you start looking at the other models and think, I could do that. Oh, look, she's looking straight into camera. I'm going to practice that at home. And you do like just a tiny thing different in the next one. And the next one, in the number 20, you're going to feel different. And you're going to be like, okay, I'm not great. I'm not nailing it. But I feel much better. And that's a start to get to the other 20 until you then feel like confident enough to be like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. I know the questions they're going to ask. I know I look good on them. I'm going to get called back.
Yeah. That's huge. And that's it's nice that I get to do this and I get people like you because you're saying, because sometimes you hear advice and it's not really like backed by anything, but like you have been there. You're not just saying it because you saw a reel on Instagram or something.
No.
You lived it, and you know exactly what this is. So when I hear it say it from you, and like we're standing next to each other, it just makes me so like I believe you. There's no sense of like that you're not being truthful. I just really I don't know. It motivates me. I don't know. It's
nice.
great. So thank you for sharing that. And I was fascinated about this because you produced a scary movie,
Yeah.
Lair, and like I never met anyone that was involved in a scary movie. And I wanted to ask you, it might be like a stupid question, but like while you're producing a scary movie, I think the intent is to scare people, right? But like while you're doing the scene, like in the moment, in the like I don't know, constructing the storyline and everything, how do you know if that's scary? Does that make sense? Or is it like a post-production thing that actually makes it?
Well, it's a lot of things. First of all, the script, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the editing and the music.
Oh yeah, huge. Okay.
I think the music, especially in horror, is like, well, especially in horror, no, in any movie. Music is super important because it sets the pace of like if you're in tension or something's gonna happen, but then nothing happens and you're like, oh, I thought something, or the moment when action or whatever. So I think that when you see a movie without music, you're like, ah.
Yeah.
And then you watch it with the music, you're like, oh my God, this is happening. Oh.
Yeah.
So I think that is super important. Obviously, the editing, for me, I edit my own videos and show reels. And that's the other thing why I got a lot of jobs. Because I dedicated a lot of time to look at all the tutorials in YouTube to be able to use Premiere and do a nice edit. And once you do a good edit and you got my show reel, I think I've done 2 show reels, maybe 3. And they've all like lasted me every reel like 2-3 years, and I've used the same one for 2-3-4 years. And they always call me.
Yes.
So it worked. So I think that dedicating time to do a good show reel or video book and doing it yourself rather than just hiring someone, especially nowadays where there's so many like AI, whatever, I think that is so important. And just having a bit of taste, and but yeah, back to the film. I think it's a lot about editing and a lot about the acting in itself. Like if the actors are believable and you can see it in their eyes and in their way of expressing the script, it's beautiful. Like when you see actors that are really good and you're in the set but you feel in the film already.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. It doesn't always happen. I've seen that more with like American top actors.
Yeah.
I think that there they have a methodology of like how when they fuck up, they don't just say, oh, stop, like some I've seen here in Spain, in films more like, oh, no, and they don't do that. They just keep quiet
And go back
again.
That's great.
So they know the timings of the director. They understand the lighting much better. They know where to put themselves in front of the camera. So many things that we hear, it's just like, I'm an actress. And they're like proper actors. They're like, they know what they're doing. They know where they're sitting down. They know where the light is. They know the timings. They know when the camera's got this lens or that lens to know if you're just getting me this bit or the full of me. It's amazing. And you can tell the professionality in those actors a lot.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was like, whoa, it's completely different.
And because you were part of a movie with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
I think, was that a nice experience?
Well, I was doing special effects in that one, but yeah, we got to do it in Pinewood in Dominican Republic, in the was it like a massive pool, with the sea in front and everything, and it was fun. And then they came and see, for example, I got my next years later, but I met the director, and so we became friends. And then years later, so he called me for a movie, Mary, in Morocco. and it was so much fun. It was great because on top of it, I went to the set there in Morocco, where they have these like studios, and I had been there when I was 6 years old, and I have so many amazing memories of Morocco when I was 6 that I remember everything. I even remember the pajama I was wearing.
Wow.
And things like that are like, why would you remember that when you were 6?
Uh-huh.
But I do, and then I came back like, nearly 30 years, nearly 30
it's
years
still all there.
later, and I was there as an actress.
Wow.
So isn't it funny how
Yeah.
you think of it
Uh-huh.
sometimes and you think, nah, and then you're actually there. And you're
Wow.
thinking, fuck, this is it.
This is life.
It's
It's like it's amazing. I saw Joe Rogan. He was at a podcast and he was saying, "Yeah, sometimes I feel like my life's a dream," and I'm just like, I don't know what kind of life I want to live, but that's something that I'd like to say when I'm his age.
Yeah, for me, like I feel it's like a movie or a long, a many seasons TV show.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that many would say the same. If like, I one day will like write it all down. I think because it's been so weird and so many ups and downs, and I've done so much with so little that when I see someone complaining and they have everything and they could be doing a lot of the things I've done with absolutely nothing, we have no fucking excuse for anything. And sometimes it pisses me off when I see people like, no, because this, or no, because that I tried it once and then, it's not for me. I'm not good at this. It's like you're just limiting yourself and your own capabilities because you're lazy to try and you're too ashamed to fail, and you've got too many. And it's not even insecurities. It's like, what will people think of me if I look ridiculous, or if I look stupid, or if I say something and then they, tell me off for that or whatever. And it's like, who fucking cares? Like, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
It's gonna be over soon.
Uh-huh.
So just do it, have fun, enjoy, don't hurt others. If you do, try and fix it, say sorry or whatever. And if it's not gonna be fixed anyway, then just drop it, leave it. Like, don't even try and do anything. Just defend yourself if you have to, but just go and do something else.
Yeah. And did you ever think that you'd be co-founding a company in fintech after having all this? No, never.
Never. I didn't even know what a fintech was. I didn't even know what a startup was.
Yeah.
I was like, what's a startup?
Mm-hmm. And you get to learn, get to be a newbie again. That's great.
Yeah, it was after failing badly because of, first of all, because I was in depression, and then COVID happened, and then I raised some money, but then things got bad with the investor, and in the end, I knew I could still go on with that same project, and I would have figured it out as I figure everything out.
Yeah.
But he didn't allow me to. And so for me, it was very saddening when it's not you. Like, although you failed, okay, you can still keep going and figure it out and get new investment and do it differently, and in the end succeed, right? Because a lot of companies do that. They ask for a round of investment, then they spend it all and it didn't work as they want.
Yeah.
But they go out and they keep going. And so I knew I could do that, but he wouldn't allow for that. He wanted to fuck me over, and he did.
Damn.
But I'm stronger. And I was like, okay, like I did have at that time, people helping me at least psychologically to be better and to not fall into, someone that just wants to go for you no matter what. And the idea a little bit came out with one of the first co-founders that was, well, you've already raised money like with small investors for the last project and for the film. Why don't we do that? And we put a technology in between, and so it's easy for anyone to, let's say, invest into movies or film or music festivals or video games or whatever. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. Well, okay. And because I said yes, and I thought, yeah, it's a good idea, started learning about blockchain. I started learning about, all the things that back then, 3.5 years ago, were like top, like NFTs and
Yeah.
all these things that now are like, ooh, not even spoken. But back then it was like, no, we got to do something with blockchain, with NFTs, with, all these things. And so we started that way. And yeah, 3 years from now, and it's going really good. We're now breaking even, and we're going to start a new round of investment. We've learned so much. We've fucked it up a little bit at times, but it's all good because it's part of the process. And now we know what to not do and what to. But I have this wonderful, 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 wonderful team that I'm super proud. And this is one of the examples of what I was saying before, that this is like a second chance or even a third chance, and it's working out.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give up because the first one didn't work,
Yeah.
and because the first people were not the ones, and they failed you as people, especially as human beings and that. But then you find in the path, because you're still trying, and that energy is contagious, I guess. You find people that are truly there, even in the bad times.
That's amazing.
And that's really pretty.
Yeah, I love the time we spent together, and I don't want to take too much of your time, but it was amazing because whenever I think about actors or entrepreneurs too, like you get to live different lives, and just from talking to you, it seems like you really have enjoyed and kind of really tried different things, and all of those things led to experiences and memories, and now you get to tell those stories. And even just you being here and telling those stories, it's gratifying in itself. So thank you for being here and being so open to share everything. It was amazing. Thank you.
So cool. Thank you for everything.
You're great.
One
Yeah.
of my friends say,
How long was it?
you better take care, 'cause that man is trouble. You best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, no.